Hi, let me share with you the numerology behind the octagon. It turns out that a long time ago in China, people had an understanding that everything seems to come from somewhere. Where does it come from? Well, in this particular path that we're looking at called Taoism, everything came from nothing. It manifested out of it into the original source, original thing, and original stuff. Now from there, it split into polarity. Some call yin and yang. In Chinese, it's known as yin and yang. In American, we might say hot and cold, light and dark, fast and slow. All the polarities, polarity idea of this and its complement. Now from there, you might have a bigger and a smaller version of it, and that was the original four. You have what they call Tai Yang and Tai Ying and Xiao Ying and Xiao Yang. These are the four quadrants, and so many models break into that. You have the known and the unknown. You have the individual and the group. You have there's many different quadrant type windows. So the four is what we base architecture on typically. You have the four walls, you have the four directions. It's a very core thing for the earth. Now if you take that and mix it with the highest shape, which is a circle, that's the most advanced form of geometry. What happens is on the earth we have a square, and in the sky we have a circle. So the halfway point, the middle point, what they call zhong, the middle in Chinese, is the strongest point that you can start from. It's also the fastest, the most easy to deliver, etc., etc. And what we have there is an octagon. The octagon is exactly halfway between a circle and a square. It's the fastest circle you can build. It takes moments to build it, and it's incredibly strong. And what it does is it starts to expand you in the life pattern, because life typically follows the pattern of 1, becomes 2, becomes 4, becomes 8, becomes 16, becomes 32, 64, etc., etc. So the Chinese believe that everything ends up at the pattern that you can receive on a given day that's useful to you in the 64, and that's called the I Ching. So basically this is a numerological pattern, and I'm starting at the state that is the simplest to start from, but still brings the result. So now I'm going to share with you quickly what the 16 looks like. 16 is basically the 4 columns and the 4 rows of the categories of project we could be working on in our life. So it could be an individual, it could be a pair, it could be a team, or it could be an entire organization. So now what happens is they could work for an individual, a pair, a team, or an organization, and it creates a matrix of 16. Now what we would go into next is the 32, and we would wind up at the 64. So that's basically the pattern that we're going to work off of, why the octagon is 8, and what we instantly do is start moving you towards the 16.